say 7, and it would normally have been 6, but you have a tendency to sometimes say the wrong thing about the cameraless sect.
True, and I also have, what is it, the +2 from the voice thing, whatever it is. I can't remember the name of it.
Right, you're not exactly, I'm not entirely sure whether that would actually count. What is the exact wording of it?
Anytime you're making a roll that uses your voice, that's vocal, you get a +2. That's how I remember it. I don't have the manual open right now.
Let me go find it. I thought I was gonna find it. I thought it would have been social. What the fuck do I know?
Physical, yeah. I just looked at my sheet. It's physical.
God damn it, White Wolf.
Yeah, finding those things is just a pain in the rear.
See, the difficulty of all roles involving the use of voice to persuade, charm, or command. And, sure. Difficulty of 5. Oh, yeah. Alright, you spend an hour there. It took you some time to get there. We're looking at about midnight now for you. And, before I tell you what information you have learned, Marcus, how about you give me some... How do you want to best connect with the Toreadors? Do you want to try charisma plus etiquette, social niceties? Do you want to do a performance? What?
I think performance would be my best bet here.
Well, did you bring your, what sort of performance are you going to be doing for them?
Well, I guess if I was going to do performance, I would have to get my guitar, and I definitely didn't grab that before I came. I guess I'll have to do etiquette.
Okay, yeah, sure. Charisma plus etiquette. We'll say difficulty 6. Alright, that's 1 success for you, 3 successes for Crip. Okay. What you have learned for you, Marcus, Jordan, who's playing Marcus, is that, as it turns out, the Fratelli are rumored to possibly be interested in moving into Western Queens. The Fratelli are one of the 2 organized crime families within the New York City metropolitan area. The other one is the Vespucci, who are based in Brooklyn. They handle smuggling, drug trade, do more prostitution and gambling stuff than the Fratelli do. Both of them, however, are pretty respectable in that at least they're not known for, say, directly murdering or assassinating people. They're, respectable establishments.
Well, I'm surprised the Fratellis would do this. I thought they were upstanding citizens.
As for you... God damn it. As for you, Crip, your character learns that the Fratellis are, while it is said that Vito Fratelli, you learn about Vito Fratelli as well. You weren't so familiar with him. He was originally the head of the Fratelli family. He's been the head for a long time, but he was actually managed to be put into jail by rather an accruement of misdemeanors, and he's in Rikers for the next 5 months. The criminal authorities just didn't have enough on him to convict him of any felonies that could actually send him to Sing Sing. Much to their dismay and regret, it was the best they could do, but it was something. And it is rumored that he is still controlling the Fratelli organized crime family from within Rikers. However, his second in command, his one and only son, Lorenzo Fratelli, has definitely been making a name for himself, and is looking to build so much credibility that whenever the old man gets out of prison, he's going to be forced into retirement. He is a very, very confident man, very smug, and he is not above getting his own hands dirty. Although he understands that, He should try to avoid any sort of criminal activity at all, or else he'll be put in jail like his father was for stupid shit. You know, the various misdemeanors could be something like menacing in the first degree, or, you know, loitering in the first degree. Just an accumulation of stupid things, and if you have a hard-ass enough DA who's looking for any excuse to investigate all of your activities.
All right. Well, so now Byron has a decent idea why David sent him to check out the cooks at Rikers. But he also is thinking that maybe there could be trouble in paradise there if he goes.
So, you know, and you're looking at the middleman, of course, is located on the outskirts of the Turtle Bay area where Valentine's domain is. Not exactly within, but it is very close to it. That is Lorenzo Fratelli's primary area. Of course, the organized crime family has all sorts of lesser things, but that's not information you're going to get by hobnobbing with people at Elysium or at a Toreador cultural function.
Right, but okay, well then that tells me there's two ways to go, and since Marcus still has his cell phone, this is going to be tough for Byron. So,
you didn't get it back?
I gave that back after I was done.
He did say he gave that back after he was done. So,
all right, then I didn't hear that. But,
Aaron,
yes.
it's shortly after midnight. David has deposited the body, and the cement mix is drying.
All right. I'll have to make a point to remember not to step on there while it cures over the next few days. I guess that now I'm going to call up Byron and see if he's made any progress.
Byron, you originally was worried that you didn't have your phone. Now it's ringing.
Party. So yeah, I'll answer. Oh, one quick question, Grimith. You said the middleman did you mean Lorenzo for that, or was it Lorenzo's middleman?
The name of the establishment is the middleman.
Okay, now I get it. Okay. Durr. All right, so
I know, it's an interesting name. I would like to tell you that I didn't name it and that, you know, the actual guy who built it did, but, you know, it's my fault.
All right, well, Byron will fill in David with what he's learned about Vito and Lorenzo trying to maybe usurp control over the Fratelli crime family. And his plan now, he's kind of, Byron doesn't want to deal with Rikers. If he doesn't know how to get in touch with this Malkavian, he doesn't know what's up with Rikers. He thinks the far safer course is to try to find Valentine. Did he learn anything about that at Elysium?
The Valentine, you know, is a great, you know, part of like upper class society, particularly in kindred circles as well. With 3 successes, you know, he's known to go through his domain on a regular basis, a certain sort of patrol. You know, he likes to visit the various establishments. He could be anywhere within it or outside of it. Depends on what he wants to do. He might not even be in the city.
Huh.
No one here is familiar with the individual patterns of a vampire. If they were, then they could be familiar with your individual patterns. You don't exactly post a schedule outside your door every day, right?
What?
No.
I totally do. You just have to be able to read it.
I was just wondering if he had like an office or something that I mean, whether or not he's there, I should be able to go to his formal place of business. I mean, he does have one of those, right? Or is he just totally underground?
He's not totally underground. It's just that his wealth is in so many different things that he doesn't have like a direct business like, say, you guys do. You know, he might say be heavily invested into stock trading and other options, so that other people are managing things for him, and he doesn't even have to worry about anything to make money.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way that I can get in touch with him. Well, if not physically, then at least get in touch with an assistant, a secretary, or something or other.
He did manage to get in contact with you whenever Byron first arrived. You could always go hit up some places. There are a few eateries he likes to visit, particularly the Lucky 21 Club, which is somewhere located within his domain. He's also been known to eat at, you know, he actually does enjoy eating food. He could very well be at the Middleman, or any of the other. He could be visiting the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. all sorts of other places.
What I will do then is I'll go through those eateries, closest ones first, and I'll just ask if anyone has seen Valentine. I'm going to assume that the people there would know it. Whether they want to tell me is another issue, but I would still ask and see if I could figure out where he is. Sooner or later, he's probably going to figure out I'm looking for him if he's around.
Yeah. Okay. So you just spewed a whole bunch of information to David then. What exactly are you, you two have called each other. You're on the phone right now. Bookadookadook.
Right. I kind of figured most of that stuff, though I didn't realize that Rikers had been claimed as someone's domain. We should look into that before we go any further with my plans. Because that could really bite us in the asses.
Byron's going to ask, since now with Joseph, screaming in his own head, you're the obfuscate guy. Maybe you would like to go scope out.
Well, you don't exactly know what has Joseph indisposed. It's just that Craig told you that he's indisposed. I don't think Craig would want to reveal, his particular master's weakness.
Yeah, I don't think that we know his actual derangement.
Fair enough. I was more going OOC, saying that, because I don't know what your obfuscate skills are either, but I just, out of character, I know that Joseph's is bigger. But he'd ask if you wanted to scope out the middleman. If not, do your own thing, of course, but that's what he'd suggest.
I might. Is the middleman actually located in anyone's domain that we know of, or just near?
It is, I'd suppose to say, like a block from what is recognized as the extent of Valentine's domain. No vampire really wants to edge up right next to Valentine, given how long he's been in the city and his power. Not only vampire power, but he is an incredibly wealthy man.
Okay, so that area at least is ostensibly free space.
It's a no man's land, yes.
Then yeah, I think I will go check it out.
Oh, one thing, Grimith, I would have asked Rain to have Evelyn call me when and if she wakes up. So if that does happen, let me know.
Okay. Marcus, Jordan, what does your character want to do now?
Well, I found out all the information I can about the Fratellis, correct? Or within
Yeah,
my
the
ability.
information that was allotted to you after an hour of hobnobbing, yeah, gossip, what have you. Sharing and trading rumors with other subtle punk rockers. What would you like to do?
Did I mention to any of them that Theo Bell was in town?
You certainly could if you'd like.
That seems like a juicy little tidbit of information.
But it's also
telling me-
something that you wouldn't be the only person spreading the rumor. He's definitely still interested in New York City.
Yeah.
And hunting down the remnants of the Sabbat. Alright. Anything else?
Inquire. I'm going to inquire as to a few of my rumors. Let me just open my notepad document here with those written down. Because I haven't actually done anything involving them just yet.
Neither has anyone else except for Byron earlier this session. Okay.
I'm going to inquire about something called Methuselah blood.
Okay. That will be a difficulty 7. And I suppose it depends on how you want to go about acquiring about it. I presume the same way, charisma plus etiquette.
Yes, if I had brought in my guitar, I would have performed for them, and that would probably be significantly easier, but this will have to do. Welp.
It seems that your inquiring has offended the delicate sensibilities of the Toreador here, and you're a perceptive enough guy. You think it perhaps.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. now. You might have ruffled some feathers. They might not appreciate your subtleties. Stupid blue pinstripe. Time to go. Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to Astoria now.
Okay.
This is 1998. Using a payphone isn't uncool yet, so you could check in if you wanted.
So yeah.
Uncool or borderline impossible to find?
Either or.
Crip, Aaron, what would your two characters like to do?
I'm actually going to go check out the middleman first, just kind of scope it out. And after that, if I still have time, I was thinking of swinging past Elysium and seeing if the sheriff is there.
Okay. What would Byron like to do?
If the sheriff was there, I'm glad I avoided that. Anyways.
You had 3 successes. It's fair to say that you had an idea. He does like to hang around Elysium, but there are 2 Elysiums, so it's possible you might have just managed to miss him. He's a well-off man himself, so he's got other things to do.
Right. Well, I'm doing what I said before. I'm going to be obviously to everyone else trying to track down Valentine. I'm not going to make any bones about it. So, because that's always the best thing to do, is try to draw attention and perhaps ire of powerful vampires. But that's what Byron's going to do.
Okay. Let's see. Jordan, your character is heading back to Astoria. Would you please give me a perception plus awareness? Difficulty 6. Sight does count.
So it's difficulty 4.
Yes. You're not exactly sure for how long, but as you are traversing the streets of New York City, and give me a, how do I want to do this? We'll go ahead and say we'll test with the same parameters, perception plus awareness, difficulty 4.
All right.
Not awareness, excuse me, I'm sorry. Alertness. Fuck, I get the 2 mixed up. God damn it, I'm sorry. You fucking passed them both. Whatever, you're an ace. Don't even roll.
I only have 4 dice in perception plus awareness and alertness.
I know. Awareness is the one that's supernatural. So all you have is your perception of 2.
I succeed on that one, either way.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I succeed on all 4 rolls.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Fucking alertness and awareness, god damn it.
That's fine.
Here's the case then. Whenever you had who had initially gone to Evelyn's office, there was something you hadn't paid much mind at the time. You know, vehicles traverse all the time. There was a dark gray vehicle parked outside one of the offices. Had some dents in it, but you know, everything is roughed up. As it turns out, street traffic is apparently fairly light enough. You would swear that your auspex and everything else inside of you is telling you, training and, you know, Vietnam and everything, that vehicle is trailing about, say, a block behind you.
Well then, the game is on.
Alright, well, you're thinking about that. Alright, Aaron, you've arrived at the middleman. Well, not directly in it, of course. That'd be terrible.
Alright, I'm going to scope the place out and specifically see how easy it would be for me to kidnap Lorenzo or get something into his food and drink.
Okay. Let's see
both.
here. A new map should be loading for you guys.
We have to select one. Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Do we have another gigantic image of queens to look forward to?
No. So, Aaron, let me know whenever you've loaded the map.
It just loaded.
Okay, that's not exactly where your character is. You can see where your character is, right?
Yes.
I put the hidden state on him, as he's obviously going to be obfuscated. It's just an indication of what the front of the building looks like. This building is so affluent that it actually has its own small parking garage with valets. There are some very high-priced and expensive cars. There's not a whole lot of traffic that comes through here. There's certainly no waiting line in front of the door. The building is 3 stories tall, and there are two guards, you would call them, standing in front of a door that is closed. You don't see a lot of foot traffic go through it, but whenever someone comes up to the door and is permitted through, one of the guards swipes something, or like punches in on a keypad or something. It's difficult to tell from an exact distance, although you could get closer. I mean, what are the odds anyone could spot you, right? There's definitely camera surveillance on the edges of the buildings. It is well lit all around, as if shadows would be an affront to disallow anyone attempting to hide. So it's practically well lit all around. There are bustling lights, and you can hear classical music wafting through the door, particularly whenever it swishes open.
Okay, I'm going to try and head around the back where there would be, like, you know, the dumpsters and the kitchens.
So, sorry, I forgot that I had to hold down my push-to-talk key.
Beautiful.
I'm used to sometimes now doing crap on Skype, despite the fact that I like TeamSpeak more. There was a whole wealth of explanation there that's gone to the winds.
The other day, I tried to press my push-to-speak button while I was talking on Skype.
I've definitely done that crap before, too. Is there something you wanted to say, Sean?
I think all of us were waiting for here that the channel dropped you again.
Yeah. I apologize again. At any rate, there is a back area for the middleman. It is certainly better guarded. There is a rather terrifying black mastiff, a massive dog, and there are 4 guardsmen who stand around. Apparently the dog is so well trained that he actually hangs by them, despite the fact that he is unleashed, although he does have a collar. They are, they're not directly armed, but by scrutinizing, especially as you get close to them, they do have concealed firearms. There's camera surveillance going on as well. If you deign to actually get close enough, you'll see that the door actually does appear to have both a card swipe for electronic card reader, as well as a key combination lock that you'd punch in.
I see. Alright, in that case, I'm going to head back around to the front of the building and trying to gauge how long the doors are opened for each person that comes in and whether or not I think I could slip in behind someone.
It would, you do take some time, spend some time. There's not a whole lot of traffic of people who actually get in. Folks who might try to stop by, there's some conversation and they're sent away in one method or another. The few people who are sent in, apparently the doors, there's only a few seconds where they're open and then someone walks through and then it shuts behind them. They're pretty serious about security here for this building. And these guards, again, do take their jobs very seriously. Apparently, perhaps they're paid so well enough that they don't want to be slack, with the cameras watching too. This is quite possibly one of the most secure 3-story buildings David has ever seen in his entire life.
That's something. Alright, do I think that I could slip in behind someone moving nice and quick if I used celerity?
You could try, but it would be a very difficult attempt to do so. So we're looking at, for you to make sure that you're undisguised, that you don't accidentally bump into someone the entire time, that you don't trip over everything, that you're rushing that fast, you'd probably be looking at a dexterity plus stealth of 9.
Well, I'll consider it at any rate. Other buildings nearby, ones that might be a jumpable distance away, especially for someone that has potence.
It does not look like to be the case. This is Manhattan, and buildings are crammed together pretty well. But this is a fairly recent building, all told. It certainly wasn't here whenever you were first embraced in New York City. And it's quite possible that it was designed with security in mind. That's not to say that you couldn't see from one roof to the other and try to make the jump. But even if you did, you might be hitting terminal velocity.
I see. And there aren't any ones that are at a good enough height where I could use a combination of celerity and potence to make an enormous running jump.
It's certainly possible that you could end up on the roof, but you would end up taking a lot of damage on doing so, and it would kind of cause some sound.
Yeah, okay.
Any hope of stealth, and there's no telling what security might be up on the roof of the building.
What material are the outside walls made of? Does it look scalable, even if it would normally be something that, anyone would spot?
It's certainly something you could attempt to scale. It doesn't really provide a good amount of footholds, though. It's a wealthy, well-to-do material that, not sheer, but not comfortable to climb. If you, say, had something that would allow you to punch into the walls, like, say, feral claws or what have you, it'd be a fairly easy chore to scale.
Right, but I don't have those yet.
Right.
Okay.
So Alright, go ahead.
I'm going to see if there's any sort of sewer connection that has pipes big enough to crawl through. I seriously doubt it, but, there it is. Or
right.
Utility tunnels or anything else like that. There's all kinds of tunnels in Manhattan.
Alright, Marcus, since your matter is more pressing, let's get back to you. What do you want to do?
Well, after I make I'm going to make another, I'm assuming I'm either walking or driving along the sidewalk. I think I'm walking.
Yeah, I think you're walking.
The next sidewalk I'm going to turn off onto another, road, like a left, and then I'm going to duck down into the nearest alleyway before they turn the corner.
Okay, let's see here. Give me a stealth plus wits, difficulty 6.
Hey!
You have a success there, and as you turn there, you peek around the vehicle, the gray van goes driving past. It apparently did not follow on to you. You're pretty damn sure it was tailing you, though. It just temporarily lost, or perhaps permanently lost sight of you.
Well, I'm going to stay in this position, and if I can, I'm going to take down the license plate number.
Okay, that is going to be, you're fairly acute enough to see, despite the fact that it's, dark. You've captured down the license number, collection of letters and numbers. You can make up your own license plate if you like. I didn't immediately design one.
All right, and I'm going to stay there until I can no longer hear the car.
Okay. All right. Byron, your character has spent the past hour, just trying to sift around Valentine's domain for perhaps information, or try to find him in the hopes that the Valentine will figure out where you are. Go ahead and give me a charisma plus etiquette. Difficulty 8. Well, even with the 1, that's still 3 successes. I suppose it was difficulty 6 for you, since of your enchanting voice. You've actually heard, through various hobnobbing and things as you've been walking along, just, asking about Valentine. That's his name, Valentine, that's what he's known as. He is actually at the middleman.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's where Byron's just going to go. Just strut on up. He looks decent enough that he could probably pass for clientele there, maybe.
All right. It's approaching 2 a.m. now.
And he also, I hope it doesn't cause problems, but he is going to call up Marcus, or I always get this confused, David, and let him know that Valentine is in the middleman, and he's heading that way.
It's 1-ish o'clock. Byron calls David. David, you're currently in the middle of the sewers right now, staring annoyedly, as it does not seem to be an accessible location. Apparently the middleman is so awesome that it doesn't have a direct sewer connection. At least not one that you can squeeze into.
Okay, then I'll give a sort of a frustrated yeah.
And Byron will say, hope I didn't interrupt anything important, because he's a douche. And he's going to say, yeah, just learned that Valentine's in the middleman, and I'm heading that direction. And he'll just leave it at that.
Well, good luck with that. If you find Lorenzo, wait, okay, how much do I know about Byron's capacity to dominate?
You did see him use dominate with 1 dot on Leslie the previous night, so you know he has some capacity.
Do I know any more than that, though? And if I don't, that's fine. I'm just...
I don't know that it would come up. I mean, you could ask him. You could say maybe you could work some of that, just to let you know, out of character, he's got 2 dots in it, so he can plant a suggestion if that's what you're looking at.
Okay. In that case, David's going to say, if you see Lorenzo, try and swing him over to our side.
Huh. You mean physically, or like be part of our thing? I don't mean to be obtuse. I just want to make sure I know what you're saying.
I mean, I want him to be taking orders from us.
That's what Byron would have thought too, but I could have meant like our side of the building so we could run. All right, yeah, he'll do that.
All right.
Aaron, I have to ask, can you actually see your token on this map?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. It's just that whenever I switch to the damn player view, can all of you see Aaron's token, or is it just,
I can.
I can control his token if I wanted to.
Okay, yeah, I allowed viewership for all of your characters in that regard. It's just that whenever I went to player view, it was actually giving the situation where apparently it wasn't showing any of the other items I placed on the map at all.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. It was frustrating me a little. Fantastic.
All I
Okay.
know is that you have 4 quadruplets up there on the northern side of that first floor. Blonde-haired guys. I'm just making a joke about the tokens. That's all I could see. I was looking at that the whole time you were talking to
Yeah.
Aaron.
So what you're doing then is heading towards the middleman as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That'll put you guys at 2-ish a.m. by the time you two unite. Marcus, looks like the vehicle has lost track of you. You have been standing here for some time, and you have not seen it again.
Or heard it.
Nope. Haven't heard it. You've heard
Oh.
all sorts of other various traffic, but not that particular vehicle.
All right. I'm gonna get back up and I'm going to head out, I guess, to get some hunting done tonight. Well, I've got a while. I might go in and check on Evelyn, make sure everything's fine with her.
Okay. 2 a.m. Byron has arrived at the middleman. You've seen a lot more people coming out of the building while you've been standing around here. While you've been sitting around here, David. You don't exactly know the closing time, but 2 a.m. and it's on a Monday. Well, it's Tuesday morning now. Might be getting around that time.
Yeah, that is usually it.
As for some of the type of traffic you guys might see heading out of the building, I mean, all sorts of people. Do. And one more type of token. They definitely look affluent, and they are very much attractive, and they look very confident and assured of themselves as well. These are not, some random riffraff. This is not your normal mom and pop restaurant and bar. This is a pretty serious establishment with serious guards.
Okay. If I see Lorenzo leave, if I can even identify him by sight, I'm going to see what kind of car he gets into and what his security setup is.
Okay.
Specifically, whether or not the car that he rides in, because I assume he has a driver, has a privacy screen.
All right. Let me go ahead and put Byron's token on the map. What would you like your character to do, Crip?
I'll just I'll wop on in to, I'll go to, I believe that's the hostess in that little first area.
You're not making it there.
Pardon? Oh, I'm not making it there?
No, you're not making it there. The door is normally closed, but I allowed it to be open for the purposes of this. As soon as you actually get up to the guards, you notice that one of them apparently has some scarring around his throat. And so it's only the one up top who speaks to you. He looks at you and says, "Welcome to the middleman, the finest And he squints at you. "Are you okay, sir? You look very pale. Do you need me to call you an ambulance?" He looks concerned.
No, quite all right. I've just had a rather difficult evening so far. I was wondering if, there's someone I believe that might be inside there, and would you like me to wait out here, or can I come inside and wait for him there?
The guy who spoke with you, he's leaning down. He's a very tall and muscular gentleman. He's leaning down, peering at you with curiosity and concern, like, "Are you sure? I didn't know people got that pale." He looks over at the friend with a scarred throat. Can people look like this?" The guy with the scarred throat shrugs. And looks back
I'm
at
from
you.
Europe. We don't get as much sun there.
"Oh." He looks back at his friend with the scarred throat. Guy with the scarred throat nods. And Blockhead, he goes back to looks at you. "So what is it you wanted?"
Oh, there's just a man I suspect might be inside. I've been trying to get in touch with him all night, and I was just wondering if I could, hang out here. I'm fine with you watching over me, make sure I don't cause trouble or anything. I don't want to. but I'd like to see if I could get all of him as he comes out of here, if that's at all possible.
The blockhead stares at you. Not a whole lot of light in his dim eyes. He looks at his friend, who actually brandishes a clipboard. Who is it you're looking for?
He goes by Valentine.
The eyes actually light up. Ah, the illustrious and magnificent Valentine. Yes, he's here, visiting with my boss. So many people are interested in seeing him. When people heard that he was here today, there were so many who wanted to come see. He is actually awestruck now. He's just like his arms are going up in flourishes as he's describing this to you. It's incredible.
Yes, he is. He is quite the striking figure.
Say, well, we do have room, but do you have a reservation? The guy with the clipboard is apparently looking menacingly at the clipboard, preparing to hear your name.
No, I'm going to look slightly crestfallen and say, no, I don't. I would like to get in touch with him, though, and if there's a way that I could send a message back there, maybe, or even wait for him to come out, I would be perfectly willing to do that. But if you could let me through, I would be greatly appreciative.
Well, I'm not allowed to let in people who don't have invitations, unless they're special people, and boss tells me who special people are, and that's probably not you. It's people like Valentine, the glorious and lustrous. I don't even know what that means. He looks at the guy at the scarred throat guy shrugs.
Well, you know, Valentine know each other, and I know each other. We're reasonably. He's going to kind of lie here. We're on good terms. I think he'd like to hear what I have to say, and I'll try to make a what would it be? Charisma and or maybe manipulation. Up to you.
Say, this is going to be a difficulty 10 if you want to try manipulation at all. Not only is this guy of dim intelligence, but he's received pretty strict orders. He doesn't want to deviate from those at all, no matter how much of a friendly guy he is. Lorenzo Fratelli is scarier.
Right. Well, I'll go with manipulation, and it's definitely my specialty is persuasion, and I'll go with, it doesn't really matter if I go with expression or empathy. It's all three there, so it'll be...
With your enchanting voice, we'll lower that to a difficulty of 8.
Even with the, is that added to the...
Yeah, it's normally a difficulty of 10. Your enchanting voice is lowering it down to 8.
But there's also on manipulation, don't you get a +1 on that or something because I'm persuasive as well?
Sure, we can go with that. And that means it's a specialization, not like a +1.
Yeah, I just can't remember how that's handled.
Your specialties mean that 10s count as 2 successes.
That's it. Thank you. Looks like 3 successes because one of them cancels out, and I did get 110, so that doubles that too, maybe.
You actually have 5.
Looks like 5 successes.
No, I
Holy
missed one.
shit.
Okay.
Blockhead is apparently, like, he studies you for a very long time. And he looks at Scarred Throat Guy. Scarred Throat Guy stops looking at you, looks at the Blockhead. Scarred Throat Guy shrugs. Blockhead Guy looks back at you and says, well, it is close to closing, so we actually have room. And you do say that you do know Valentine, and he would be interested in what you have to say. I certainly wouldn't want to offend him. Okay. Guy with the clipboard, he steps forward, looks at the door, pulls something, a small plastic thing out of his coat, swipes the card, and punches in. He's a pretty big guy. It's difficult to see around him, but a key combination. Steps away. Door slides open. You can go in, Mr. What did you say your name was?
Rand. Byron Rand.
Mr. Rand. And then he opens up a beaming white smile. Thank you for coming to the Middleman. We hope you enjoy your stay.
The pleasure is all mine, and you've done a wonderful job.
Yeah, thank you. He's very delighted by this.
Fantastic. I made the Big Oaf's night. Well, no, Valentine did. I was a secondary. I was the aperitif or whatever.
So are you actually going to go in, or is the door just going to swipe shut in front of you?
I'll say hi to the hostess and see if she can direct me to
Okay.
Valentine's table.
Alright, door slides shut. The hostess, an attractive woman, this is apparently a coat room of sorts, where people can stash in whatever belongings that they feel comfortable with if they don't want to have those in the establishment. She looks at you a little perplexed. Say, are you all right, sir? You look rather pale. It is very bright in here. And your vampiric condition is definitely noticeable. You even have a reservation here?
Well, I can use a can I use a blood point to actually make myself it's either willpower or blood, I can't remember which, to make myself look a little more vivacious.
Right, that would be something that you'd want to do not in front of her.
Right, I just for future reference.
Yeah, that's based
kinda
on your
those-
humanity. You flush out your skin, you actually draw breath, you become more vibrant and things like that. Yeah, people aren't used to seeing pale cadavers like you.
Yeah, I'll say I'm a little under the weather today. It's been a long day. I've been rushing about trying to find this guy, and so yes, I apologize for my appearance.
This guy, Mr.
Valentine.
Her eyes light up. Well, you're certainly not the first one to do that. And she actually goes to check she has a little podium there. She has a clipboard that she checks. What's your name?
Byron Rand.
She scrunches her brows, looks at it. Byron Rand, Byron Rand. Well, you're not on here, but she looks back at the restaurant, which is emptied out even more. It's normally full, and you can see some empty tables in the back. It's I suppose the restaurant is closing, so you couldn't get anything to eat, and the bar will still be serving until 3. That's when we close, Mr. Rand. Except on the weekend, and then we're open until 6. But I'm afraid I couldn't take you to Valentine anyway. He is visiting with Mr. Fratelli, and no one is allowed back there.
I see. Well, would you mind if I took a seat at the bar at least until 3, and maybe I'll notice him as he walks out?
She looks at you, and she thinks about it and says, "No, I don't think that would be a problem. The bar is on the 2nd floor. Mr. Rand, thank you for coming to the Middleman. We hope you enjoy your stay here."
Pleasure's been all mine. He'll, bow and give a nice little smile and do his whole, thing, and he'll move on.
Okay. You can go ahead and move past her into the 1st floor here. Just fucking fly. This 1st floor here looks very affluent. Signs of people enjoying soft classical music of all varieties, and perhaps other things from across the Atlantic Ocean. There's 4 waitresses. One of them's busy cleaning a table, and the other 3 are attending to customers, as there's only about 45-ish minutes before closing time at 3. The staircases are to the north and south, as you can see. They kind of spiral in up on each other, so they take up less space. And there's an enforcer on each side who nod to you. Over on the eastern side here, These little black spaces denote doors that lead into the kitchen.
Gotcha.
And apparently my line of vision blocking sight wasn't entirely flawless, so I'm pretty sure if the fog were allowed to be pierced through, you could see 1,000 spaces. Okay. You go ahead and make it onto the second floor then. Here,
I
you actually,
will,
what?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, as soon as he gets seated, he's going to call up David and tell him everything he's learned and where he is and that type of stuff.
Okay. There's some seating room away directly from the bar, tables and stuff. This floor, again, looks just as beautiful as the first one. Sorts of fine architecture, glorious little busts and other sculptures. Just soft lighting, and people are laughing and enjoying themselves. And again, these are very affluent, wealthy people. There are 2 bartenders behind the bar serving up various drinks. No guards appear to be up here. There is an employee entrance behind the bar that leads off into the east, as where I'm pointing, and there's also a door down here in the southeastern corner that the first door you've seen, it says authorized entrance only. It does not appear to have any sort of locking mechanism like a keypad or a lock. Or like the security you saw outside.
Yeah, I think Byron's going to go wait next to it. He'll order a water or something, or maybe, heck, he'll order a drink. He'll look somewhat normal. Was there anywhere along the way up that he could flush his skin a little bit and not look like he's a sickly human?
Sure. I think the requirement for it is like humanity 8, and if you're below that, you have to spend 1 blood point per. Does anyone know whether that's correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so you can spend 1 blood point. You actually don't look like you're fucking out of place, you pale vampire, you.
Awesome.
Alright, going back to Jordan, Marcus has arrived at Evelyn's little residence. Although it's funny, the ghoul is still waiting in there, just, out of concern. Didn't exactly have further orders to pursue for the time being on account of Joseph being, indisposed. But Evelyn is still unconscious.
Was there any trouble getting here?
The ghoul shakes her head, and she says, "Now that you've arrived, though, I have other matters to attend to. I must leave." And she will do so.
Okay.
You don't have to stay. You can just, take a key. Obviously, that's how, Evelyn has a key. So the ghoul took it and used it to open the door. You can always just lock the door behind you whenever you go. Evelyn's still wounded. She's still unconscious.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull the blinds and make sure all of her windows and stuff are locked, and then I'm going to leave and lock the door.
Alright, anything else that your character wishes to do?
Well, what time is it? Like 2:33?
You're looking at about 2:15, 2:20. I mean, certainly Evelyn has a phone, and she has a cell phone too, if you wanted to use that, or anything else in her little apartment area.
I'll use her cell phone and call up Byron really quickly.
Alright, Byron, as you've stopped to potentially call David, you're getting a ring from Evelyn's house phone.
All right, I'm going to say, Evelyn, yep. How you doing?
Not Evelyn. Marcus.
Oh, is she all right? Why
Yeah,
are you calling from her phone?
I just came over here to check to make sure everything was fine. I'm calling from her phone just to tell you what I know and what I learned from tutoriadors.
Alright, pause the conversation for a minute. Aaron, have David make me a perception plus alertness check. Trained observer will apply, difficulty 7.
Okay.
Two successes.
Yep.
It strikes you as interesting that a gray van appears to pull up next to the middleman, and a few more of the enforcers, obviously suited in trained people simply by the way and the mannerisms they carry themselves. Bruisers that, tend to be more for like intimidation and physical combat, but by looking at them you can tell they have concealed pistols, perhaps silenced within their suits as well. There's 3 of them in total that get out. The van circles around, pulls back into the parking garage. No valet required. The three enforcers just casually walk into the building without problem, just simple nods. All right, back to your phone call.
Anyway, as I was coming back, as I was saying, I just got back from the Toreador place, wherever it was, and basically from what the Toreadors have heard through their gossiping networks, the Fratellis seem to be, on the move into Queens. Sorry, I was wrong.
It happens, no problem. Anything else going on? Is that all you figured out?
Apparently I was tailed for some time. I don't know how long though.
Huh. You know anything about the vehicle?
It was a gray car, and I give him the license plate number.
Okay.
And even though Byron's not that intelligent, he is going to write it down on a cocktail napkin so he won't forget it.
Perfectly acceptable.
All right. Byron will say, well, see if you can get over here to the middleman as soon as possible. I will give David a call and let him give him the information. I was planning to call him anyway. And did you get a look at any of the guys, by the way, in the van?
I'm assuming that the windows were blacked out.
You couldn't really tell. No.
Yeah, it's
No.
just that Byron just noticed the 3 guys walking through the room, and they're coming towards him. So Byron's going to kind of look towards the barkeep. He doesn't know if they'll know what he looks like or not. He doesn't want to draw attention to himself.
It's fine. The 3 enforcers ascend the staircase. They're obviously heading for the door behind you. One of them, you can feel from the back of your head, gives you a very hard look. But nothing comes of it. They stop by the door, and they walk through. Apparently there was no lock that they needed to disengage. They just pushed open the door and walked through. Although there is the no unauthorized entry thing.
But yeah, you need me to get to the middleman over in Manhattan?
Yes, start on your way over here. I'll give you a call if plans change, but I think our group may have just come in. I'm getting a feeling. So, let me call Dave up and see what he has to say about that.
All right, I'll grab a cab.
Okay. Then you call David.
Yeah, what's up?
I just got a call from Marcus, and he mentioned that he was he found out some information that's not directly applicable to what we're doing. It's information we already had, but he said he was tailed coming back into Astoria, and he'll give a description of the van and the license plate.
Was it a gray van?
It was.
Okay. I'm going to go see if I can get a look inside of it. It's in the parking garage right now.
Okay.
You do have the license plate number, by the way. You can tell him that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Crip said. Okay. Marcus is going to go take a cab. It's probably going to take some time. It might be like by 2:45 by the time you get here. And by then, almost all the patrons are going to be gone because it's very close to closing time, and they've shut off the taps. Aaron, David heads into the parking garage, obfuscating, being a sneaky bastard. He hears some laughter. There's the gray van that he noticed, and a quick check confirms the license plate. The driver, the 4th guy, you presume, or however many there might have been in it. There's this one guy, though, who's walking away. He's dressed like the others, But he doesn't look as serious. He's just twirling his keys, he's tossing them a bit in the air, and he's laughing, like he's having a great time. Doesn't look intoxicated, just, he's alone. He's a Fratelli enforcer. He doesn't give a fuck.
Right, okay. Here's hoping this doesn't go tragically.
It's worth noting as a reminder, this area is still very well lit. There are still security cameras.